You sweetheart. You noticed that wasn't recording. Thank you. You get extra brownie points today. What we call extra brownie points after I'm halfway through with what I'm doing. Thank you, Kuang. You're good. Anyhow, the whole reason of this whole conversation on time management is to figure out your why to start with. Why are you doing what you're doing? That's the core of the whole thing. When you figure that out, then you're going to position your time according to how to get it done. And what that means is in very tiny increments, step, constant step, you will realize it will compound itself till all of a sudden you are there. You don't look at the total picture any more than to realize your why. And then you do the baby steps. So it also depends on what we consider to be priorities. That's the good news and the bad news. And it's by your experience and education that you create what's a priority. Many times what we do is that we think that this is an emergency. Well, it's probably not an emergency. It's just somebody's pushing you harder than somebody else to get it done. So is it really, really important? So it's to look at what you have and decide its value. And we're going to go into that. So it's confusing the categories. The second thing is that's most also important, not second, but what's also important is to consider how to say no. How to say no. Years ago, there was a woman in our society called Nancy Reagan, and her husband was a president and a movie star. And she had a fight against drugs. That was her big deal. And her key phrase was just say no. Well, just say no is not always easy, as you well know. And the reasoning for that is that we're getting pressure from all different sides to say yes, to be the magnificent person we can be. Well, that's your opinion. The point is you don't have to say yes to everything. And a lot of times we say yes because we don't want to lose face. We don't want to look bad in the eyes of others. If we were centered within ourselves and realized the amazing person we are, we wouldn't have to worry about what others think about us because that's really not our responsibility. So saying no is also a deeper cut of saying no is that we're afraid people won't like us. People won't like us. How many of you can relate to that? Well, I can only see one. Kuwon, can you relate to that? Yeah, absolutely. You're afraid deep down that people won't like you. Well, let me give you a grip, because the value of no is a lot longer than the value of not saying no. It gives you control when you say no. Now you know that what's happening is what you've chosen. And the deeper cut of that is if you value yourself and you value your why, and you value where it is you can take yourself or others around you to that why, you owe it to yourself to say no if what's happening around you doesn't fit in that plan. That's really important. Think about that. If it doesn't fit in your plan, say no. Now, just saying no is not easy to do by itself, and it hurts. People go, no, really? Well, there's a better way to say it than that. And I use this all the time, and it feels a lot better. This doesn't work for me now. You see the difference between saying that and no? This doesn't work for me now. So the other person goes, oh, okay. All right, I understand. So it feels a lot better. The other one, when you say no, you allow someone else to take on the responsibility of what they asked you to do. And that's a learning experience for someone else. I couldn't tell you how many times lately. I mean, I have been in charge of many clubs and associations, made my way up to president, did all of this stuff to be able to do that. And I don't want to do that anymore. And the main reason is, number one, I've already done it. Number two, I don't need to do it. Number three, I want someone else to grow. You're giving them permission to grow. You're doing them a favor by saying no. And again, it's not super easy. It's something you have to develop by it.
Ma'am, we are not able to hear you. Not yet. We are not able to hear you. What happened?
Always comparing me to somebody else. Christina's vocals are bigger than yours. Beyonce's moves are better than yours. I couldn't even make it out of the hospital before he told me lose the baby. That never made me. Y'all need to recognize the connection here. Playing right into the hands of these men. I love you, Mom, but what makes you any different right now? For real. You are just another industry man telling two women to do the same whole thing. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna receive that. So let's say that it's gonna be different from now. We got two strong Black female artists.